the only way to get into this front door is because you take off the kid off here and they're door 30.
Oh, don't do that.
Now you're gonna, now I'm gonna.
Stick sign on the door. Go to door 30.
I'm glad you made it.
Now they have a security guard standing there to open the door.
Well, he's supposed to be standing there. You want to face that way?
What's up?
Morris. Frank Morris. Nobody sees him.
No, I don't think I've seen it.
Nobody sees Frank.
I've worked in that classroom. But I haven't worked in
They said,
Is this a problem with your educating my child?
come on. Oh, get the show on the road. Go ahead, hold
I don't know where
I don't know him either. But I don't know. I don't hear stuff. Do you ever see anything
Nothing as a hot box.
beside do you ever see neither? Do you ever see anything around my neck beside your hands?
I actually wanted to ask, now, during the regular school, she was at one of the hearings, and they were okay with it. Okay. And now it's kind of and Daniel's telling me, when Ron was what, was like 2 or 2. There are no people friends. Well, today there weren't, but most days there are no people there. Well, she said track parents. Ones that are specific track. So, but they have some more kids than you're getting down there. So it takes them a while to get there. So but she's telling me you're not approved to work. So I'm like, I can't just leave the kid there, Like, well, no. I talked with people at CSD and talked with them. Like yesterday, there was no one there, so I stayed with them. And so I said, I knew that they were going to, say something. So I was going to talk to people at CSD. Yeah.
This meeting will now come to order. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided by sending such notice to the Asbury Park Press, the Middletown Patch, and the Middletown Township Public School District's website, and the posting of such notice at the August T. Minor administrative offices and each elementary, middle, and secondary school in the district. Roll call. Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence for William Bill Mikowski, who passed away on March 20th, 2019. Bill served on the Middletown Township Education Foundation and helped to organize the MTEF Great Race for 20 years, beginning in 1990 through 2010. He spent countless hours to raise thousands of dollars for the grants awarded by the foundation. Bill was the father of Denise Moyer, Navasink teacher, and father-in-law of Amy Mikowski, high school staff nurse, and an outstanding community member. We extend our condolences and respect to the Mikowski family. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'd like to open the microphone for public comment on agenda items only. These are items that are on tonight's agenda only. Please remember that we do only allow for 30 minutes public comment. So we allow each individual 3 minutes so that the maximum amount of people get to tonight.
And just a reminder, we do have sign-in sheet at the podium, so if you can sign in. Thank you.
She's a mom.
Is that mic working? Can you test? Okay.
Hi, thank you for your time.
Sorry, can I give you your last name?
Jakira. I'm here to, I wrote this down so I didn't get off track. I was here just to share my takeaway from last week's meeting.
Can't hear her.
Hey, great.
Mic is not working.
Now it's green. How's that? Maybe that counts. Okay. I'm here to share my takeaway from last week's meeting. I don't come to a lot of board meetings, but I was able to last night because we didn't have any other things scheduled. And one thing that I noticed from my takeaway from last week's meeting was that there is this large group of employees in the district that feel very marginalized, right? And I felt like this was the problem that needed to be addressed after last week's meeting. If these employees don't feel secure in their jobs or appreciated in their jobs, then they would be turning out in such numbers, frustrated and worried about what's coming for them. So we're talking about, I think the number was around 290 professionals, and whomever else substitutes. There was one who spoke very well last week as a substitute teacher. And from what I could gather online, that's about 30% of our employees in the Rincon district, which is a pretty big number. So I feel like staffing and scheduling is not a unique problem to us. It's a problem for all large companies, and there are solutions. We have to figure out what those solutions are. Like, there are entire businesses dedicated to staffing solutions, companies that can analyze our needs, our efficiency, they can recommend scheduling, placement, and things that work for us after they analyze us. Like, with our often piecemeal placement and higher grades, it seems feasible that we could consolidate our hours amongst hired employees, pleasing both the employer's vacancies and the employee's desire to fulfill more hours. This, of course, will require a lot of work and data and analyzation and implementation, and it probably wouldn't be fast or easy. But I was thinking this is perhaps where we need to look outside of our district, and not necessarily for temp agencies or outsourcing for employees. We have amazing employees. You know, there are outside agencies that could help us manage our time and our available hours better. That was my takeaway and idea from last week. I'm sure, this was my anecdote, if there's an algorithm that can analyze when I'm going to impulse buy on Amazon for home goods, there's an algorithm that can help us figure out how to use what we have better to serve everybody. Because I think all of these men and women believe, like, are here to serve our community and love our community. It's my opinion that hiring an outside staffing agency to solve our internal problem will act as a band-aid to what's potentially a larger issue. And at what point do we then become reliable upon a third party that has its own ups and downs and its own governing rules? Our substitute teachers, paraprofessionals, our substitute paraprofessionals are committed members of this community. They know our schools, our secretaries, our staff, our case managers, our kids really well. This year during the hiring process, I was so very impressed with the dedication amongst administrators to match personalities amongst staff and students. We all care and we all want what's best.
Time, you can wrap it up, please.
Sure, I'm on my last 4 sentences. We all care, we all want what's best. No one's sincerity, I believe, is in question here. I worried that speaking up tonight would be risky because I loved my job and I would never risk it, but I also realized that not speaking up would be risky for my job. So here I am, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. And please don't anybody be worried about losing your job. We want to hear what you have to say, and there will be no repercussions for that.
Thank you.
Anita Flower, paraprofessional, tax.
The mic. No. Just talking.
Is this better?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, the importance of special education is that a student can receive instruction based on their needs. Academic, social, emotional. And these students, 9 times out of 10, they're going to have a paraprofessional in school. It's either going to be a classroom paraprofessional, maybe a ratio paraprofessional, like a 2-to-1, or a personal paraprofessional. Whichever, they're going to create bonds with these paraprofessionals. Very, very tight emotional bonds. And they not only create them with the paraprofessionals they're with, they also create them with the paraprofessionals in the school. So it's a recognition of somebody that they can go to, somebody that they know is there for them within the whole school. There's certain people that they know that they can rely on. That's what these paraprofessionals are to the children in our community. And outsourcing would just destroy these bonds. Administration is constantly stressing the importance of continuity, and it is important. It is. You're not going to get that continuity when you outsource. They have no emotional attachment to our students the way we do. You know, these are our neighbors, these are our nieces and nephews, these are some of our children. Some students, they just take months to try to figure out. We have a student in our school, it's March, and we're still trying to figure out a behavior plan for her. So that is the reason why continuity is important. It's also important for the safety of the student. It's important for the safety of the parent. We have a child with a lot of emotional problems. You need that security, that face, those same faces that you see all the time. They become like a family. I know you're looking for outsourcing to fill hard to fill positions, but quite honestly, this has only happened when the hours were reduced in the first place because in order to avoid paying medical. So you created the chaos that you're trying to actually fix now.
That's right. Yep.
These were full-time workers that were already hit economically and forced to become part-time workers. That was the first hit they took. Can I get somebody else's minutes?
No, you can't. So the procedure is members of the public will, pursuant to the law, the Board of Education is required to set aside a portion of every meeting for public comment. Pursuant to the board's bylaws, the public comment for the first section is limited to agenda items only. The second section is for items in general. Last week, the board was very liberal, very generous to give you some extra time. However, the procedures do not call for donation of time. So we have a room full of people. If there's anyone else who wants to speak, the policy also says no person can speak on the same topic prior to everyone else who wants to speak on that topic having the opportunity to
Well,
go.
if nobody else wants to speak, it's all done.
I can't read mine, so I don't know that. So let me just finish what I'm saying.
But it's
So-
possible.
So to the extent that if there are other people who want to speak, you have to let them go first.
Does anybody want to speak right now?
No,
Marie, you're up. Batter up. Now, if and when Marie finishes, if no one else wants to speak, the way I interpret the policy is you can speak again, but for 3 minutes. You don't get to speak for the other 24 minutes, all right? So that's the
Never
rules.
do any time.
Those are the rules. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mike. Mikey.
Good evening, my name is Marie McGovern. I've worked as a paraprofessional in the district for 17 years, and I still love my job. Ms. Stella, you mentioned last week that you went to the Monmouth School PTA meeting. Can I ask you how long you stayed there for?
The entire time.
The entire time. Thank you, Dr. George, and the entire Board of Education members for visiting our classrooms. From 5 to 10 minutes does not show you what we do on a daily basis. Come for a half day, come for a full day, come for lunch, come for recess. You'll see what we really do. There is one board member here tonight that was a paraprofessional, and she knows what we do. If I had to write a book, the book would be entitled The Day and Life of a Paraprofessional. I have been bitten on several occasions, sometimes where my skin has been broken. I have been scratched, I've been kicked. I have scars on my arms still from years ago. I've been headbutted, double-fisted. I've been hair pulled, double-fisted, headbutted from underneath where my teeth rattled. But this is not about me. This is about our children in this district, who we love, take care of, nurture, and we watch them grow to become independent young adults. We spoil them by purchasing every day or every week their favorite resources, which is food. My little boy was demanding on his iPad for milkshake, milkshake, milkshake. What did I do the next couple of days? I drove to McDonald's to buy him a milkshake. We have another person in our classroom that her boy was looking for hash browns. She went to Dunkin' Donuts. And when she looked at the hash browns, she knew in her head that he wasn't eating that hash brown. She knew that away. Did he eat the hash brown? No, because it wasn't a typical hash brown. We know our kids inside out. Some teachers come into our classrooms because they know that the paraprofessionals are going to take over the classroom. We deal with behaviors. We do recess, we do lunch. We have good subs, we have not so good subs, and then we have subs that are shell-shocked when they come in because they can't believe what they see. We all know that autism is a social and communication disorders. Most schools do not work on socializing the children enough. Instead, they isolate them. Paraprofessionals that see these kids every day and bond with them are the only ones who really connect with them. Paraprofessionals provide students with skills not only to thrive in the classroom, but in the world as well. Please, on behalf of myself and all these people out here, do not outsource. It's not the way to go. Outsourcing paraprofessionals would not be able to provide special needs students with the extra attention and specialized care that they need to succeed in the classroom. It will be a revolving door. There is a saying, you get for what you pay for. And we go through CPR training, and there's a question at the end. And the answer to that question is care, welfare, safety, and security. And that's what we provide for our children every day. And I still love my job despite everything that's happened to me and everybody else here. But thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Naomi McKenna, and most of you know my daughter Mary. Mary has many medical needs: visual, hearing, orthopedic balance, and spatial awareness. I'm trying to get my daughter to be independent and consistent, but most important is her safety. Normally, her teachers do not put a sub with my daughter if a para is absent. If she had a hearing aid problem, the nurse would have to handle my daughter. Moving around the hallway, she can get knocked over if the para isn't trained properly to handle Mary. I need a para who can keep her safe every day. I need her to be able to learn efficiently and effectively with somebody who works with her every day. This can't happen with a sub-para, or a para who's not trained properly. Since we are all here to be educators, paras have an impact on their students' lives on a daily basis. You don't want to underestimate a para's role in the school. Please don't do a disservice to my daughter. Help my daughter, don't hurt her. I can see, being a para myself, the difference I have made in the lives of my students. Thank you. Thank you.
Basically, a lot of these decisions are...
I'm sorry, can you please say
Oh, I'm sorry, Marissa Ziegler. I'm a taxpayer and a parent of a special needs child. Basically, a lot of these decisions are made because of money. Paras earn between $15,000 and $17,000 a year. One of your administrators earning six figures can pay for almost 10 paras. All that ahead is ridiculously top-heavy. We as paras are the ones that are in the trenches. We're not sitting behind a desk. Yet each year, we worry about our positions. We understand that we will be getting slipped every day. We are 10-month employees. But to add insult to injury, last year we were made to re-interview for positions that some have held for over 20 years. For the reason simply, because you can. We, however, found it demoralizing. I don't believe any of you would appreciate having to re-interview for any of your jobs after you've had your jobs for such a long time. We then had our hours reduced so that we don't work beyond 30 hours, so that you don't have to offer medical benefits. We do not feel any appreciation by any of you for what we do. But you know what? Most of us here are not looking for any rewards of grandeur. We are simply here because we grow attached to our students and are pushing for them to succeed. We are the ones wiping their noses, working on toileting, holding them when they don't feel well, making sure they are safe, making sure they feel good about their own accomplishments. We are the ones cheering them on to keep trying and to not give up. All we are asking for is some sort of job stability. And I have one more question. One of the budget line items showed that the company MOESC will be providing transportation next year. I have a problem with this because Dr. George, you sit on the board of directors as president. Yeah. Is that not a conflict of interest? Do you draw a salary? Do you draw a salary from him? Well, I think that it is a conflict of interest because you are a presence there, and you are a presence here. And I find it unethical. Yeah. Because they are with you, not both. Especially when you're making these decisions. As a parent, most importantly, of a child with special needs that has been through the middle school districts, parents were the backbone to my son's education. They were instrumental in his success. If not for his great powers that he had, and I had to fight tooth and nail every year for, he would not be where he is today. Thank you.
our main points are is that when you removed our hours, you went into our pockets. You felt no compunction about doing that. Nope. Is this thing on? And that, you know, you did that, it's done. But now it has created a chaos that you're trying to balance and fix on our backs. That's not right. Nope. There's nothing right about that. Okay? The fact is that, you know, most of us would sign a waiver or take less pay, or, you know, we're not going to be unreasonable, because the fact is we love this job. I don't know what that says about us all, but we love it. We love it. And we're here for it, but we also, like, the way we're regarded in this district is a very big problem. You're giving stipends and bonuses to public servants. Like, when I went to school and I got a bachelor's degree in social work, I knew I wasn't going to get bonuses. I knew that I was on a life path that would take me to help change people's lives. That's why I did it. I don't think anybody in public service should be drawing a bonus or a stipend, and much less to keep down absences when we're dealing with kids who come to school sick. They come to school with 100%. You know, and we, you know, we love them. But the fact is that we get sick too. We come to work sick. We're scared to call in sick. Hence, we spread more illness. And I, for one, I don't have health insurance. So when you ask me for a doctor's note and I'm out 2 days, and you ask me for a doctor's note, I have to go pay for that.
Yeah.
Or have no health insurance. But the fact is our work is on the table. It's on the table. You have given a raise to everybody who doesn't have student contact. Well, I beg your pardon, the teachers got a raise and they have student contact. But you raise the administrative pay across the board. But we are the hands and feet of this district. Yes, we are the ones teaching, actually doing the teaching. You know, there's been a lot of feathering of the nest here. It's not right. It is about the kids. We are about the kids. Yeah. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Gary Pesar, I'm retired now. My hours were cut short, and my hours were cut because whoever did the scheduling for my school made it together. I was put in class I never should have been placed in, and once they realized that I was not needed, I was called down and told, go in. I asked the secretary, who am I going into? Sharon, who I never met before. Sharon told me my block 5 would be cut. I said, thank you very much. I said, if anything opens up, can you please consider me for the position? I contacted my union rep. I spoke to Michael. I said, you know, they cut my hours. It's $300 a month out of my pocket. It's a financial hardship. Is there any way that, you know, I can make up these hours? I was told they could apply for another position, whether it's at my school or another, this late in the year. And that was March, turning into April, so that I can make up what they cut. That was a scheduling error. I took the $300 cut a month because I will not leave the children that I've been working with since September. And I personally, now I have 2 children. My husband works for the city. He gets on the bus at 5:30 and walks in 6:30 at night, dead tired. I walk into work sick because I'm afraid at the end of the year I'm going to get that little letter stating that I took so many sick days, but by law they are legally mine. Mind you, I have a kid that is on the spectrum who sneezes, who picks his nose and wipes it on me. But yet, I will not give up my $300 you guys so easily took away from me.
But you know what? I take the hardship because I know next year, if I go back, my student's gonna turn to me and say, why did you leave me in April? When the kid comes in hungry and goes, did you save me the milk from lunch yesterday? And I walk to the cafeteria and I go into the teacher's room and I take that milk because I know his parents financially have to move because they can't even afford their apartment. And I give that kid the milk because that's his breakfast for the day. Until he gets his free lunch, and God knows if he eats dinner at home. Because I care and I have respect. But I will look at every single one of you and say, what respect have you guys given the parish to this district? To give up $300 a month. I can't. I have a special needs son that works in ShopRite that got stabbed with a dirty, hypodermic needle. And I have to deal with that stress. And I come to school and I go in the bathroom and I cry because I don't know if my son has HIV or hepatitis. But yet, I walk in for my students, I wipe my face, I fix my makeup, and I walk in because my kid is waiting by that door for me. I have respect for him. The family has
Excuse me,
respect for
ma'am,
him.
you just wrapped up with your time.
Yeah, but you know what? This board has no respect for us. I don't care about that letter. Because you know what? I put my time in it and they're legally fine. Enough of the scare tactics.
Well said.
Daria Kasur, K-O-C-U-R-E-K.
Hi, my name is... Hi. Hi, my name is Marie Dresser, and I'm a paraprofessional and a taxpayer and a parent in Middletown. And what I have to say is really directed to the board members, who, most of our paras are citizens of Middletown and elected you, parents who are sitting here whose children, their lives are about to change. I'm going to reintroduce myself. Hello, my name is Maria Dresser, and I'm a paraprofessional in Middletown. I have worked in the self-contained programs in Bayshore. I have worked in MD, Turning Point, and LLD. I have students who go out for services, in which I go with them, and I have students who work with an AAC device. With the exception of the one board member who has been a paraprofessional, what does that mean to you? Not a statuette, not a description, not a book you've read, not a movie you've seen. What do you picture? I know with Dr. George and Kim and any other administrator here pictures, it's a classroom, it's a teacher, it's a program, it's a student, it's a face, it's a person. That's the person whose lives you're about to change, the people we bond with, who we work with the teacher to create a safe learning environment, who we help the teacher implement an IEP, a BIP. You know what those are? But before you make that decision, look that up. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is that we do? Our students bond with us and we bond with them. Think of those students. What does MD mean to you? I'm not giving you the answer. You will research it. And I'm going to tell you about a bond of a student we have who will be leaving us this year because we've spent 4 years with him. First day school bus pulls up, we're all out there, the teachers are out there. You know, we have to make sure we have everybody. And he's standing at the top of the step of the bus, and I look at my dad. I know it is, and he's hearing. And he's looking for this one parrot. He gets off the bus, and I watch him. I don't have to watch where he's going. I know exactly who he's going to. And this year at graduation, our teacher will practice with him in that hot room, the multi-purpose room, getting him ready for graduation. But you know what? There's only one thing we need to do to get him up there on the dais, to shake Dr. George's hand, and he's going to say congratulations. All we have to do is put Miss Renee right next to Dr. George. We won't have to worry where this student is going. We won't have to worry, will he make his way there? He will walk up to Dr. George, his power will point to Dr. George, and he'll say, good job, thank you, and walk off. And Miss Renee, stand up and take a bow.
I want to thank you all for your comments, but our half an hour is over now. We need to move on to the next agenda item. So we're moving on to our proclamations. National Autism Awareness Month. Whereas we celebrate our students affected by autism on April 2nd, World Autism Awareness Day, and throughout the month of April. Whereas autism is a pervasive developmental disorder affecting the social, learning, and behavioral skills of those affected by it. And whereas autism was once thought to be a relatively rare disorder affecting only 1 in 10,000 people. And whereas as more and more health professionals become proficient in diagnosing autism, more children are being diagnosed on the autism spectrum, resulting in rates as low as 1 in 88 children. Whereas while there is no cure for autism, it is well documented that if an individual with autism receives treatment early in their lives, it is often possible for that individual to make significant improvements. And whereas Middletown Township Schools have pioneered a public school autism program and have excelled with devoted administrators, teachers, paraprofessionals, speech pathologists, occupational therapists, physical therapists, and child study teams. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Middletown Board of Education, do hereby proclaim April 2019 as Autism Awareness Month in the Middletown Township Public Schools and urge all employees and students to participate in our Autism Awareness Month activities in order to become better educated on the subject of autism spectrum disorders.
Seriously? April 3rd is Paraprofessional Appreciation Day.
All right, moving on to our superintendent report.
Can you speak it? You can speak at the end when you're finished. That's what they said. I want to ask an important question.
Okay, sorry about that. I need a motion to approve the minutes for the executive session on February 27th, 2019, and the regular voting meeting of February 27th. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Letter B, Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. April has been designated as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month, and whereas all children deserve to be nurtured, protected, and free from physical or emotional harm, and whereas the maltreatment, abuse, and neglect of children is a significant social problem that damages children physically, mentally, and emotionally, and inflicts immeasurable harm on society as a whole, and whereas the state of New Jersey and the New Jersey Department of Children and Families believe that the best place to raise children is among strong, healthy families, and whereas the state of New Jersey is committed to building a continuum of community-based child abuse prevention and intervention programs that are culturally competent, strength-based, and family-centered, and support and empower survivors of domestic violence to achieve positive outcomes for children and families. And whereas the New Jersey Department of Children and Families embraces the standards for prevention programs developed by the New Jersey Task Force on Child Abuse and Neglect, and whereas all sectors of the community, including law enforcement, medical professionals, schools, courts, and media outlets, as well as numerous public and private agencies have joined forces to promote public awareness and community involvement in strengthening families during the month of April and continuing throughout the year. Now therefore, I, Pam Rogers, serving as board president, and on behalf of the Middletown Board of Education, do hereby proclaim April as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in New Jersey and urge our residents to become involved in efforts aiming at strengthening families and communities and preventing our children from being abused and neglected.
Superintendent's report. First of all, I want to say that I wish you great job in the case
We can't hear you.
Number 11, the reports.
Wow.
Yes, the report of the president, sorry. So the report of the president, we have a meeting on the 2nd of April. That's a PIC meeting. And on that PIC meeting, we will just be asking the members of PIC to give us some input on the strategic plan. We're asking members of the public to just look at our strategic plan, our current strategic plan, and give us some input and some feedback, because we are about to start focusing on our strategic plan. We put out the RFP for the strategic planning expert, and on the 8th of April, we have a 7:30 p.m. strategic planning meeting. So everybody on the committee, please put that in your calendars. That is, we have on 6:30 on the 8th, we also have the shared services meeting. So I just wanted to make sure everybody remembers about that. Yes, and then April 10th is our next Board of Ed meeting. And that's really it for the report of the president. No, just the strategic planning committee is April 8th. And that's when all the proposals came in, so we'll be looking those over.
When do we find out it's full without what's going on? What are you feeling about it? Are you telling me and every time
All we're asking is for people to give us feedback, right? But they're gonna look at their strategic plan and just give us feedback to get started. That's it, the existing strategic plan, the old one, right? That's all we're asking for. I know, we're starting baby steps. We want the public involved right from the get-go, from the beginning, before we even make any plans with the new professional that we hire.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, not a professional, not professional.
Okay.
Superintendent's report.
Move on to B. B, report of the business administrator and board secretary. I need a motion to approve the bill list for the period of February 28th through March 7th. As per attachment BA3, the approval of transfers for February 2019. Motion to accept the report of the secretary for the month of February 2019 as per attachment BA. And a motion to accept the board secretary certification that no major budget line item has been overexpended for the month of March 2019. So I need a motion to approve B 1 through 4.
So moved. Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions. And now the report of the superintendent.
First, I'd like to make a recommendation, and that'll be my report for items 1 through 3, and then the superintendent's update will be number 4. Have a motion. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed on number 1. Good job.
Abstentions.
Okay, in the superintendent's update, first, out of respect and fairness to everybody that's in the audience, I just want to take a moment to say a couple of things. MOESC is an organization. What an ESC does and what Monmouth Ocean Educational Services does for the counties of Monmouth and Ocean is provide additional services. Like the members of this board, I actually serve on 2 boards, Monmouth Ocean Educational Services and Bayshore Jointure. There is a relationship between both of those boards. There is no money, there is no monetary, on any given day, there's no monetary compensation on any given day. My regular workday can be anywhere between 8 and 16 hours. On days in which I have that board meeting, it gets longer by 1.5 and 2 hours. Because all the same things that I have to do in that day, I still have to do. It's not required by the board. It was something that that from the very beginning was an expectation from the board. And the reason for that is because what Monmouth Ocean Educational Services is charged to do as it relates to transportation is be the transportation supplement for all the districts in Monmouth and Ocean counties. So I work with colleagues, superintendents, and that's what we do. We also provide related services to all districts in Monmouth and Ocean County that aren't big enough, that don't have a big enough staff to have those services. So I just want to start by making that clear. The second thing, we continue to hear the words outsourcing. I feel compelled to speak on that on behalf of the board, because that's not the intention of the board. That's not the intention of the administrative team. As we said, and the one thing about Middletown, we talk about transparency. We all get up here and we speak on the record, and we speak in front of that camera, and we're accountable for everything we say. So I'm going to say what we said last week. That's really important for everybody to understand. It is not our intention to supplant your services. This board has been negotiating in good faith for a long time with your unit to get to a long-term agreement, right? We were together for 4 hours last night. That is not this board's intention. And I heard over and over again the importance of the children, and I completely concur. And I have been in the schools for longer at times, in classrooms for longer at times than 5 minutes. And I look in your faces, I know your hard work, I know what you do, I know, and you have not just my respect, you have our respect. The issue is that yesterday there were 9 positions, or today was 9, yesterday was 18. Are those numbers correct? Yes. Yeah, and I ask every day, how many professional positions went unfilled. It is, I know how important that is to all of you. I know you don't want that either. I also know that you know with our most needy students, people are going to be bumped in coverage as it relates to medical or our most needy students to cover from the inside with a skilled paraprofessional like yourselves to make sure that person is covered. But that means someone else goes uncovered. So today, 9 people, 9 students of our most precious commodities, our most at-risk students went uncovered. Yesterday it was 18. Again, it's so important that I say this. Listen, we're not comfortable with your angst. We're not. We tried diligently to make it clear to each and every one of you, going back to a meeting 4 weeks ago with your bargaining unit, where we made it very clear, not just your bargaining unit, but every other bargaining unit that was affected, that this is not our intention to outsource. This has never been, for this board, in this time, in this moment, about outsourcing. But I want to share another thing with you.
Dr. George, why can't you just
Excuse me, Ms. Clark, I'm sorry, but the public comment period
right now,
right
now, in this budget, we are cutting between 1.7 and 1.9 million dollars in personnel. It does affect other bargaining units. It does not affect your bargaining unit. We keep talking about reduction in hours. So let's make it clear and let's talk about the facts. Where the board was and where we are. We have lost $1.7 million in the last 2 years. We are scheduled to lose more than $6 million over the next 5 years, okay? That's a lot of funding. We are looking for long-term sustainability. That's what we're talking about, making sure that we can provide programs and services for students. I'll be honest with you. I feel your anxiety in this room. I know how important your work is, each and every one of you. If at any time we were forced in dire circumstances to provide services and programs for our students, and I thought the only way we could do it was to outsource, I am here to look all of you in the face with courage and say, I'd recommend it. I would. We are not in that place. That is not where we are. That is not our intention. Our intention is to fill the anywhere from 18 or 9, and it's gotten worse during the course of the year. And quite honestly, out of respect for your bargaining unit and the fact that we were in the process of negotiating with you, we have put this off. We did not want to do this in this time. This is not easy for the board. This was not easy for my administrative team. We did it because we are charged to have the courage to do what's in the best interest of the students. And I know what that looks like. I have seen you in classrooms toileting where I had to point out that you had feces on your forehead. So I know that you know what it's like to truly be courageous and to do the work and to care more about the children than you do yourself. That's why we're at this point. There is no other reason that we are at this point. That is our intention. So I want to make that very clear. Continuing with my passion for special education, I'm going to read to you tomorrow what I'm going to be sharing in testimony for in front of the State Senate Budget Committee as it relates to special education funding and funding for state funding. Under S2 funding formula, the Middletown Township Public School District has lost $1.7 million over the last 2 budget cycles. A significant driver in educational funding loss is a decrease in enrollment in the Middletown School District of 6.2% since the ASA report of October 2011. A detailed review is needed to understand special education costs such as additional staff, smaller class sizes, as well as additional health services. The impact of the financial costs to support these underfunded mandates makes it critical to equitably fund local school districts. It is important to note Middletown, with a total enrollment of 956 students, educates 1,978 special education students, or 20% of the total student population. Categorical aid for special education allocations are based on a percentage of special education students at 15.4%. In Middletown, this equates to 536 special education students not factoring into the equation. Our most at-risk student population receives special education services at a significant additional cost compared to their typical age group peers. Through extraordinary aid, the state of New Jersey currently funds approximately 55% of special education services costs over $45,000 per student. Now our average per pupil fund is $15,000. Additional extraordinary aid doesn't kick in until $45,000 per student. Middletown's extraordinary aid funding is only $1.5 million. In addition, the state of New Jersey provides $7 million in special education categorical funding that the district receives approximately $2 million in federal IDEA funding. Only a fraction, roughly 19% of special education transportation costs is funded in categorical aid. The Middletown Township Public School District is currently carrying 69% of the total educational costs for special education. The state funding for special education does not accurately reflect enrollment, and therefore the dollars do not follow the student to assist in providing an appropriate education. Follow the student. The inverse relationship between the decrease in state aid funding, while we have experienced a 27.6% increase in our special education population during that same time frame. We're going back to the ASA report of 2011. That's October 2011. So we have a 6.2% decrease during that time in overall enrollment, which has driven down our state funding during this time, but we have a 27.6% increase in enrollment for special education students. So I ask you to look at the body of work of the Board of Education over that time, okay? Over that time, although we are cutting positions in regular education, and rightly so for the decreased enrollment, and we're owning that. In special education, during that time, for certificated staff, our most expensive staff, we have increased 60 positions. So let's get back to the point about whether or not we cut hours and services. hours and services are driven based on the IEP. That's how we do it. It's based on the IEP. It's not based on saving dollars. It's important to know that. It's important to understand these facts so you understand why the board is voting the way they are. Thank you for your time, Mr. President.
Time's up.
He's saying he doesn't listen.
Could you just clarify in the resolution, subject resolution about the regular positions
And we did this last week, but you're right, I think we should do it again. So the regular position, and here's the example that we've given the board. It's not, and not only do we give this to the board, we gave this to your leadership 4 weeks ago. So it's not about, elementary positions are easier to fill. The time schedule